My God, Donkey Kong Bananza. I've never seen a sexier looking game in my life. I'm so excited. This was obviously announced at the Nintendo Direct last Wednesday, and this caught a lot of people's attention immediately, but for me, this is what made that presentation an absolute 10 out of 10. I've been waiting for a brand new Donkey Kong for 10 fucking years. My favorite game of all time, Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze, and now we're getting a new installment in the series, but it's 3D. I never even thought DK would get the balls to go into the third dimension again after the tragedy that was Donkey Kong 64, so the fact that he's back in such a massive way is insane, and I'm very, very excited about it, so let's get into it. So they announced this game, and initially when I'm seeing it shown off, I was not expecting a DK game. I thought this was a Mario game, something like that, and it looked so freaking good. I was like, no way they would give all this love and care, this TLC, to Donkey Kong, but they did. And then once I found out it was him, I was blown away. The idea of Donkey Kong finally coming into the third dimension has been tossed around for a long time. Obviously, it's been played around with a little bit with the idea of Donkey Kong 64, but that was such a shit show that they haven't gone back for 20 years. So now, finally returning to that style of game is absolutely massive, and I'm genuinely so excited for what this could mean for the franchise as a whole, obviously. The gameplay looks really new and different. It's still like a 3D it's basically a 3D platformer akin to most of the things we've seen from Nintendo, but you can break the terrain now and everything's malleable. Donkey Kong's moveset looks crazy. I was watching the treehouse and I'm just sitting there in awe as they're showing off Donkey Kong breaking the entire environment. Basically, everything is destructible and interactable. You can dig all the way down and create these tunnels. Basically, it kind of feels like SteamWorld Dig a little bit in that way, but also then it has the signature Nintendo charm. You eventually meet this rock guy that you chase after for a long time, and they showed that off initially in the Donkey Kong treehouse section, and that looks absolutely crazy. The graphical style they went for here is sick, and it's just so pretty. I love the way it all looks. And then they have Donkey Kong's redesign, and let's talk about this for a second, because I feel like this has been a pretty polarizing topic on the internet. I've seen a lot of people pretty annoyed about it. On Twitter, people think he looks kind of stupid and dopey now, but then a lot of people were also excited about it because it goes more for that traditional, Donkey Kong NES or Donkey Kong arcade style look, right? He's hearkening back to that. And also, in the same vein, he looks very similar to how he looks in the Mario movie, which was a very polarizing redesign in and of itself, right? We've had this rare Donkey Kong model for so long, and it served us very well. Through all of the Donkey Kong Country games and Donkey Kong 64, he looked like this baddie, and he looked great. I love the design here. I think, he just looks cool. He looks fit, he looks ready to go, he looks a little scary, a little intimidating, right? But I think here they wanted to go for this goofier kind of overview on this character, which I don't mind. I think a little bit of a rebrand for DK in 2025 isn't a bad idea. We've had this design since the SNES, right? So we've had it for like 30 or so years. It's been a long time of him looking like this, and then in this certain way, I like a redesign. It's welcomed, in my opinion. And that's as someone who's been a long-term DK fan. He's very expressive. It almost seems like they went with that Mario Wonder expressionism that they had in that game and brought it over here. He sticks his tongue out when he sees a banana. You're going all over the place to get these, I forgot what they're called. They're banana rock things. And you're trying to get, the bananium, right? I think, was that what it's called, bananium? You're going all over these levels to try to find bananium. They look open and very explorative. We see them basically go to this just area to find the rock guy, and they're just exploring around. There looks like so much to do. The monkeys talk to you, and the interactions here seem so good. I don't think, was it voice acted? Definitely not voice. It's not voice acted, I don't think, or anything super crazy like that, but it looks super duper awesome. I was honestly shocked that with this new system, with the Switch 2, they didn't want to go for a more traditional 3D Mario approach, because obviously that is what has sold their systems in the past. 3D Mario is a big system seller, but DK, it seems like he's stepping up into that role, which is amazing, especially, like I said, as a fan, because I really thought Nintendo had forgotten about DK for a long time. Literally, it's been 10 years since Tropical Freeze came out. They've obviously been developing this game for a very long time. I don't think quite 10 years, maybe 5 if we're really giving them the benefit of the doubt here, but it's been beautiful. The gameplay looks really interesting, like I've touched on a little bit with you being able to dig and go all over the place. It's just a very destructible area. You've got these enemy things that like blow up and can blow up parts of the area as well. I'm really curious to see like what the difficulty level is, because DK, at least for the last 30 years, has always been known as being a much more challenging experience than its Mario counterpart, right? So I'm almost curious if they go for that in the 3D platformer genre as well. I can see them maybe going for a bit more of a beginner-friendly option. Maybe having the option for like in Kirby and the Forgotten Land when they had Spring Breeze mode or normal mode. I don't even remember what it was, but there was like another Spring Breeze mode, and then I think it was just normal mode. So I'm curious if they do something like that as well, because I think that could really just like allow for long-term Donkey Kong fans to be very happy with this game, as well as more casual fans who haven't checked out the franchise maybe ever or since like the N64 days or whatever. Regardless, this game kind of looks like it's just oozing so much personality from every aspect. Donkey Kong's facial expressions, his animations, the way he moves in general, it looks really fun, like the movement mechanics and almost like how rubbery he looks, like how much he can just boom and move and like just barrel into things and all of the shit that he has. It looks really cool. I will say I love the 2D platformer so much that I'm a little bit nervous for the idea of a 3D platformer. Like I've said, this is my most anticipated game of this year, but there is a part of me that's just like slightly nervous, and I honestly think that's just because I love those initial games so much that I don't want to see them forgotten, right? I'd love to see 2D Donkey Kong live alongside 3D Donkey Kong in the way that we have 2D Mario and 3D Mario coexisting. That might be a little bit of wishful thinking and a lot of expectations for Nintendo, so I completely understand if they do want to go in more of a, 3D genre with him, or maybe this is a one-off or whatever. But I think, treating him in the way that they've done with Kirby could be a really good idea. Kirby and the Forgotten Land came out and it redefined the idea of what Kirby could be, right? 3D Kirby. Brand new experience, things like that, and it took a lot of inspiration from not really like mainstay 3D Mario, but like Mario 3D World and 3D Land, which was an interesting one to draw inspiration from for sure, but it made a lot of sense for the way that Kirby was structured and all of that. So I'm curious if this is more of like an open world, kind of like Mario Odyssey DK game, or drawing from more inspiration like Mario 3D World. Either way, I'm not going to be disappointed. I'm going to be very excited, but I'm really just curious as to what form this is going to take, because even though we've seen about an hour of gameplay at this point from the Treehouse presentations, I feel like there's a lot that I'm just unsure of in this game. But what do you guys think about DK Bananza? Does it look really cool to you? Are you excited for it? What do you want to see most out of this game? And are you a little bit sad that like the death of 2D Donkey Kong could be coming? I'm not sure. I might be over-exaggerating, and I probably am, but I'm just really intrigued by the whole thing. I know this was a bit more of a rambling video than I traditionally do, but I just wanted to sit down and talk about my excitement for this game as a lifelong DK fan. Someone who sat in her room at 12 years old screaming at the Wii U while I played Tropical Freeze. Genuinely, I could not be more excited for this game, but I have my reservations, so I'd love to hear what you think down in the comments below. If you liked the video, like it, subscribe to the channel, check out this one. It's a banger, it's a vibe, it's a good time. I will see you over there. If you're curious about the $70 price point, what I think about that, I made an entire video talking about the prices of these games. That is right here. Check it out. That will explain all of this. I just don't want to go into pricing in every single video I do. It'd be a little bit exhausting.